Alright guys, I'm going to show you real quick a alternative to changing the marker light and turn signal on a 2016 and older, probably 15s, 14s, maybe 13s, depending on when they've changed this. But this is a 2016 Ford F250 6.2 liter gas engine. Again, different years previously. At least with the 6.2, might be similar. I don't know how far back when they last changed all this. And diesels, of course, this probably does not apply to diesels, although it might. Just depends on how this is laid out on a diesel. Now, the Ford procedure for changing out the headlight, and I'm pretty sure they consider it the same for all of these lights, is to take the grill out and then take the entire headlight assembly out, which might be a pain if you have a brush guard. Although this, depending on your brush guard, it may or may not be possible to do all that without taking the brush guard off. But either way, just taking the grill and headlight out in the first place is still kind of a pain. But what you can do, and I've already gotten this somewhat loose, is take a 1/2 inch wrench here, take these two bolts out. You got two of them, here and here. They hold this whole air box and reservoir in place. So take those, keep them safe, and then mine's moving a little bit more freely because I've already dealt with this. You might have to manhandle it just a little bit. Don't be too rough on it, because this is all still connected back here. But though it does have plenty of flex, obviously right there it has plenty of flex, but you are moving all of this at once. So just keep that in mind. But it is, you don't have to move it a lot, and you should be able to easily, basically grab it right about here. You might have to wiggle it a little bit, but you can move it over to the side. And you can see everything's pretty much good. Now you have all this room in here. Now, if you are somebody with a ginormous hand or arm, this might be a problem. I say if you have a roughly quote-unquote normal hand size and arm, you should be fine. Obviously, the smaller the better, because there's not a lot of room in here. Now, you do have these air guide dams, whatever you want to call them. They simply move out of the way. They're not right here. They're secured. It's secured right here. You don't want to rip that out. But right here, at least on this one, you have plenty of flex. They just move out of the way, and you can subsequently reach your hand all the way down in here. And as you can see, you can get the bulb out. And you can pull it all the way up with plenty of extra wire on that to get it well up here to access the bulb. Pop it out, slide it back in with the new one. These are 3157s, 3157. A is in amber. They do need to be amber because, of course, the lens is clear. So you must get amber tinted bulbs for your turn signals. And of course, one thing nice about this is if you did need to change the socket for any reason, you have plenty of wire, plenty of room. Just examine the socket. You are going to see this yellowing here. That is normal. That is from heat. This is actually that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's not charred. So that's a normal. And the older the vehicle is, of course, or the more the lights are used and whatnot, it's going to be more or less yellowing. But that right there is plenty fine. I have seen on vehicles that do use their turn signals as daytime running lights on full bright on the turn filament, and you will see these charred, black, falling apart. In that case, of course, you probably want to think about going ahead and getting a new socket. which in this particular one, it does look like you can change the socket. Yeah, it looks like here, it's even nice. You can this has a plug on the end of the socket, so you can actually pull that off, get a new socket, put a new one on if you need to. Sometimes what might happen, I think this particular one should be fine, but these seals can stick to the housing, the light housing. Although this model truck with these sockets looks like that the nubs here should prevent that from happening. When you pull it out, it should pull on that. Though the headlights, on the other hand, the headlights though will definitely, because I've experienced that on this truck on the right side, can leave that seal here on the headlight housing. And then on the headlights, the bulb itself comes with a new one because of how the bulb and socket is designed. So on headlights, just remember, if you're trying to put it back in, or when you take it out, make sure that's came with it. And when you're trying to put it in, if it's not fitting, remember that seal, the old seal might still be in place, so now you have two seals trying to fit in the same spot, and it just doesn't work. It took me a couple minutes to realize what had happened when I did that over there. But again, that does not necessarily apply to the turn signal bulbs, because like I said, I'm pretty sure those aren't sticking just because of these nubs. Again, that's the turn signal. Now, of course, and you can see, I mean, it's not danger free. there is some stuff in here, so I mean, if you're worried about getting cut, probably not the way you want to do this, but hey, it's not a big deal. Now for the marker light, can't talk. Same thing, reach your hand down in there, grab the marker light, and pull it up. Again, slight bit of yellowing, no big deal. Some of it's gotten pretty black right there, but it's still, the plastic itself is not compromised. It's just, yeah, it's perfectly fine. This one's perfectly fine. I'm actually not sure what the bulb number is on this one. I haven't had to replace it, but it is one of these little itty bitty bulbs. Of course, it's probably like 5 watts, if that, but of course, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Advanced, all of them. Well, I'll be able to look that up for you. And it doesn't have to be amber. It can be clear, because the reflector and cover here has color. So this can be clear, although if you want, it can be amber. It shouldn't matter. But as you can see, this one came clear. And pretty much on the reverse, this one will be a little bit harder to line up and get back in place, just because you can't really clearly see behind that. But on the other hand, the turn signal bulb, and we'll try and show that to you real quick, is actually rather simple to get back in place, because you can clearly see. I'm just going to set that down in there, and we're going to go down. As you can see, you can already see it right there. It sticks through. Now, you might have to twist it to get the quarter turn just right. And I will say, if your truck is running, like unfortunately mine has to right now, as you're probably well aware, this section, the hood, these trucks run very, very hot under here. And needless to say, the frame and all this here gets very hot as well. So just keep that in mind. That time, I've done this a couple times already, but this time it got a little hot. So let's go back in here. Again, you got to turn it, there it is. It'll actually be at a 45-degree angle. Twist, lock. You'll see now it's basically just about straight up and down. It is now locked in place. And it is done. Again, that one's easy because you can see through the socket, or see through where the socket goes. So it makes it easy to line up. Again, the problem with the marker light, which might be easier at night if you can get a light to shine down here so you can see through this hole, and then possibly see when the light is in place. That might be an option. I'm gonna try it here real quick, one-handed, while holding this phone. But see, like I said, unfortunately right now I cannot see. And two, the socket on this one is actually angled. It has about a 45-degree angle from the end of the light bulb, which makes this a little bit harder. And as you can see, you just need about a normal size hand. And yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it like this, holding the phone at the same time. So we'll do that in a second. But basically, it's just the reverse of getting it out. Now, since we're here, this wasn't about this side, but in the right-hand side, obviously, you probably did not come here looking for this because it is extremely simple. Although you can look at how the passenger side socket fits in there. Again, it's at a 45-degree angle. It actually, and this will help me in a second over there on the other side. So if you before you go to put that marker light back in, come over here, take that one out, see how that one comes out, see how it goes back in, because it actually faces kind of this way. It does not, unlike most, straight 90-degree angle. No. The plug on it now is 90-degree out because that end, you saw that end is at about a 45-degree. So actually, and actually I noticed these as well. That kind of, actually those pretty much line up. So there you go. And I just noticed that you have these two little, I don't think this is necessarily what they're here for, but they do line up with, it's pretty much exactly where the bulb actually goes. Let's see if we can show that. It's hard to see, but they're pretty much in line. So that gives you an idea. Let's check back over here. Yep, here they are. Same thing. So let's try this one more time. Because why not? Trying to reach down and get that bulb that I left down there. There it is. All right. So again, and of course this doesn't really help because you guys can't really see much of anything. Or, well, you can't see anything. You just see a hand. Get your fingers on it. Where's that bulb? Where's the hole? Ah, there it is. Yeah, there we go. Get it in there. Turn it 50 degrees. Boom. Okay. And see? Okay. So that actually made it a lot more simpler. Come over to your right side. Take a look at how it works. Put your hand on it. Take it out. Put it back in. Just so you... And then, of course, it'll be exactly opposite. You can kind of use these as a guide to where it's going to be down there. And again, remember the plug, which again you can't see, the plug itself sticks out of the light that way. But again, because the bulb itself sticks off this way. Because again, that plug has about a 90 degree, or not 90, 45 degree angle in it. All right. Now, if I was a more professional YouTuber, I would have cut all this down and make this short and sweet, but unfortunately I'm doing this on nothing but a phone. I don't have any of those fancy tools. I think YouTube even took away the editor. So sorry this was a long video, but hopefully that gives you some ideas of how to do this without taking the grill out. And of course, if I was doing this without a phone in my hand, when I initially did it, probably took 5 minutes tops from having to put the air box back in place, which again for it, simply slide it back in place, line up the bolts. You got 2 holes. You got a hole there, of course, hole there, line up the bolts, bolt it back in place, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really for this air box. Hope this helps you. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, if you have any comments on the headlight, getting to the headlight from that direction, if you've done it successfully, if there's a lot of wire, etc., comment. Have a good one, guys. And also comment too as for what model years other than a 2016. Like I said, I'm sure a 15, probably even a 14. Obviously, the older you go back, the more likely things have changed. So comment below for those things as well. Have a good one, guys.